Blog Talk Radio.
Writing your book is the easy part. Promoting your book so readers can find and purchase it is the hard part. Welcome to the Author Chat Show, hosted by author-publisher Lynda D. Brown. Follow us at www.facebook.com/authorchat. And to contact the show to promote your book, contact me at theauthorchatshow@gmail.com. Stay tuned and listen to today's show.
Good morning and welcome to the Tuesday morning edition of the Author Chat Show. I'm your host, Lynda D. Brown. My guest today is author Ellen L. Hughes. Ellen is stopping by the Author Chat Show to discuss her new book, Be a Smart Client, Guide to a Successful Relationship with Your Attorney. We are still waiting for the author to call in. So while we're waiting, we're going to go ahead and take a word from today's sponsor.
How would you like to own your own health and wellness business with celebrities like Shaquille O'Neal, Chris Brown, Snoop Dogg, Jennifer Lopez, UFC fighters Brandon Vera, Houston Alexander, DWTS's Alfonso Riviero, singer B. Howard, and MMA fighter Rich Rigmadden promoting your business for you? How would you like to share amazing, great-tasting products with your friends and family and make extra money and get free products? How would you like to earn weekly and monthly bonuses? What about getting your share of equity in this billion-dollar company? For more information, log on to www.whatareyouyoueating.info.
All right, welcome back to the show. For those of you just tuning in, my guest today is author Ellen L. Hughes. Ellen is stopping by the Author Chat Show to discuss her new book, Be a Smart Client, Guide to a Successful Relationship with Your Attorney. Now, this is Ellen's first appearance on the Author Chat Show, so let's bring her on with a warm Author Chat welcome. Ellen, welcome to the show.
Well, hello, Lynda. Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, thank you so much for calling in. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. When we contacted each other earlier about coming on the show, you made a very, very good point, Ellen, and that is, as authors and publishers, there are times that we might need the assistance of an attorney. So this is one of the reasons why we have Ellen on the show. I think her book is going to be very helpful to a lot of people. But before we get started, since this is your first time on the show, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, okay. I live in beautiful, snowy Colorado, and it's snowing right now, in fact, on April 19th. Oh, we've had so much snow here, Lynda. It's just been amazing. But I started my business. And where are you located?
I'm actually in sunny St. Louis, Missouri, where it's about 60-something degrees. It's been beautiful this time of the year. It's amazing.
Oh, don't rub it in.
I'm sorry.
but the good thing about Denver is it'll snow and then it's gone the next day. Usually, I can say that.
Okay.
But for my background, I started my business. It's called the McKee Company in 1993 when I wrote my first book, Government Auction Sales Manual. Kiplinger endorsed it. Reader's Digest picked it up, and everything just exploded from there.
Awesome.
So that's great. So, go ahead.
Okay. That is absolutely awesome. You got picked up with your first book. Wow.
Yeah, that was amazing. Well, and then after that, so I've had a very good reputation since then. All the books I write, and then that's basically what I do, is books. I have written one software program, but everything I produce, they're all designed to simplify complicated things so people can quickly get information, easily understand it, and use it to make their lives better. Now, this book, Be a Smart Client, it's kind of a diversion from what I usually write. My Amazon bestseller is Adventures with Natural Healing, which give details on 27 alternative health methods. The Office Wizard is the software program I spoke about, and it should be of interest to your readers or to your listeners because it's a software program to help businesses create a personalized, comprehensive office procedures policy manual. And it was endorsed by the Denver Business Journal. But they can find all this information, everything that we produce at beasmartclient.com and click on About Us. So they can read that at their own leisure then.
Exactly. Now, Ellen, what inspired you to write your book?
Well, I have been a paralegal for over 20 years, Lynda. And I've seen, during that time, I've seen the client's frustration. I've also talked to others who weren't clients. They weren't our clients. And I've heard so many times that people felt lost because they did not know how to react in certain situations. Sometimes they felt intimidated or they felt anger. I mean, everybody felt that way at some point when they're talking with a lawyer. Some felt like the lawyers didn't listen to them. So I wrote this book drawing on my life experience, not just as a paralegal, but I grew up in a family of lawyers. You'd think I'd know better, right, than to go into law. But But also, during the whole time I've been working, I worked either contract or through a service. So I haven't worked at just one law firm. I worked for at least over 200 attorneys in different legal fields. So I've got a really good perspective of the whole legal system and how to work with lawyers. And also I've been a client myself. So with that background of being in law really my whole life, and then also producing good quality books that have been written up nationally, local, and in trade publications, people know when they get something from me, they're going to get a quality product that is going to give them the information they need in a logical, comprehensive, and easy to understand form. It makes everything simple.
Exactly. And that's, Ellen, that's exactly what people are looking for. It's kind of embarrassing to admit, but people have extremely short memory and attention spans. So you really have to meet them where they are.
Right. Well, there's so much we have to know anymore, Lynda. To me, I call this a do-it-yourself world anymore. You've got to be a little bit of a doctor. You've got to be a little bit of a lawyer. You've got to be a little bit of a mechanic. You have to know a lot more than we ever did. And then put all the electronics on top of it. You're right. People do have short attention spans because they've got to pay attention to so many different things and chop up their attention span. I think we're all a little ADD, don't you?
I really believe we all are. You're absolutely right. Now, I'm actually, and for those of you that are tuned in, log on to the Amazon and look at Ellen's author page, which is wonderful. This is something that we truly recommend that a lot of authors do, is to set up their author page on Amazon. And she's got some really amazing books out there. I mean, I am just blown away with the type of books that you have out here. And, you know, one that really kind of resonates with me is and Dental Heaven. Get a great smile without paying through the nose. And all of her books will be on her YouTube video along with this interview after the show. Now, I'm going to tell you something, Ellen. I hate going to the dentist. It's like going through a medieval torture chamber. And it's like, excuse me, this is 2016. Why do I have to deal with so much pain when I just go to get my teeth cleaned or get something filled or a root canal? It's ridiculous. But now that being said,
let me just say something. I wrote that book because I actually go to Mexico and have my dental work done. Oh my heavens, Lynda! I went down there with a recommendation from a friend, so I didn't go down there blind, just to. You know. And the first thing I noticed was, and I think everybody can relate to this, the thing I hate the most about the dentist is the shop in Novocaine, because that just hurts so bad. Down there, this dentist had me move my lower jaw one way and my upper jaw the other, and he gave me the shot. I didn't even feel it.
Wow.
That sold me right there. I mean, and it's so much cheaper. And, my book, it tells people exactly where I go. I mean, there's some places you don't want to go down there, but this place, it's all Americans, it's all Canadians, no problems whatsoever. So I'm glad you like that.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely going to have to promote that one, because I think a lot of people still have a fear of the dentist. And that's really sad, because we're all walking around with mouths that could definitely use some work, but it's like I only go if I absolutely have to.
Well, and you're right. It's the pain people are afraid of, and also the cost. Let me tell you,
goodness.
The first time I went down there, it was cheaper for me to fly, to rent a car, to have a hotel room and get the work done than it was to stay here and have the work done just by itself. It was cheaper for me to do that.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, I just went, really, oh my God.
It's amazing, and it's really a very sad commentary on where we are with healthcare still in the U.S.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I know. Okay. Well, let's get back to the book that we're talking about. But again, like I said, we'll have all Ellen's books on our Facebook page and also on her YouTube video. So now, Ellen, what qualifies you to write a book on how clients should deal with lawyers?
Well, we kind of went over that because all of my background in law, growing up in a family, my 20 years as a paralegal, and I actually went to school for court reporting. So, I mean, I've just been immersed in law ever since I was born. So, like I said, I've also been a client, so I've seen the other side. And, as I say, it's better to be on the bus than driving beside it, because you never know what the driver's going to do. You never know what the bus is going to do. It's always better to be working in law than being a client, because it's a totally different experience. And I've experienced both sides, so I know what people go through, and that's why I wrote it, and that's why I'm so qualified, because I know it. I'm not bragging. It's just I've been in so many different situations with lawyers that I've worked with. I've worked in large corporations. I've worked with sole practitioners. One thing I'd like to say about working with large corporations, there was one thing in there. There's something in my book called the Client Constitution.
Okay.
This is a very important thing. And by the way, the people listening, they can go to the website, and on the first page, there's a link where they can click on, and they can download the Client Constitution for free.
Right.
And that's 21 points with their attorney before they even hire them. And that's what brings me back to working with these huge corporations, because I started noticing years ago, Lynda, that these corporations we're dictating the guidelines for the attorneys to follow instead of the other way around. Instead of just accepting what the legal counsel told them they had to do, these corporations said, no, you're going to do what we tell you. Now, this is not, they weren't giving them legal advice. They were just saying, listen, you need to, you need to send us a detailed invoice with all the work, a total description of what you have done. Lynda, like I said, I've been in law forever, and things that are on the client constitution, nothing is out of line because a lot of that stuff used to be done. Attorneys used to do it without even thinking twice, but things have kind of fallen through the cracks, and the client needs to start taking responsibility and also taking control of the reins and saying,
right.
This is what I want you to do. I mean, it's like anything. If you hire a plumber, and you aren't going to tell them how to do their plumbing, but you're going to say, listen, I don't want you tracking mud in on my floor. You're going to give them rules set by. But people are so intimidated by lawyers, they think they shouldn't, but that is totally wrong. They need to be confident, and that's what this book gives them. It gives them the confidence to know what to expect and what to request from the attorney. No matter the size of the company, always think like a corporation. Let me repeat that. No matter the size of your company, whether it's a small one-man band or, you have several employees, always think like a corporation. You come across more professionals, in control, and in the long run, it's going to make for a better attorney-client relationship. And let me say one person who has endorsed my book, Susan Daycoff. She's a law professor at Arizona Summit Law School. She said, I particularly like the client constitution. It is a wake-up call for lawyers and clients alike and provides a roadmap for excellent lawyer-client relationships.
Right.
So the client constitution is a very important part of that. And, again, they can go to the website and download that for free.
Absolutely. Now, one thing that I really like, Ellen, is that you also created interactive workbooks to go along with your book. Tell us about that.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm so glad you brought that up. That's very exciting. Okay, so interactive means you can just download it onto your computer and you fill it in, and it's a PDF. It's through Adobe, so anybody can download it onto their computer and fill it in. And one of them, I have two of them right now, two workbooks, one for estate planning, one for personal injury. For the estate planning, it will ask you, you'll go, where did she come up with all these questions to ask? But remember, I cut my teeth in law in estate planning. So I have a very good background in estate planning. So they don't have to fill it all in, and they don't have to do it all at once. But it's a good idea to download it, fill it in whenever you feel it, because I tell you, nothing tears a family apart faster than a death in the family, and there's no will, or, Susie really wants the tea set that, was promised to Debbie, and everybody starts fighting. So when people have everything in place, and, when they have everything in place, then the family, then everything goes a lot smoother. And sometimes you forget about things. There's that thing where people have forgotten that they had a bank account or whatever. This helps. This takes them through every step. And do you still have something left over from a long time ago? So it really makes people think, and then they can fill it in. And it's very easy to do. It's, I take them by the hand. When I wrote The Office Wizard, which is kind of like this, but like I said, it creates a procedures manual. It takes people gently by the hand and leads them through the whole process so they aren't overwhelmed, and they can do it on their own time at home. And with the personal injury workbook, again, it gives them questions that a lawyer would ask. It's a really good thing to have before you go to a lawyer because it cuts down on their time of having that. They're going to ask they're going to ask you all these questions anyway, so might as well get it all down first before you even go to them. It's so easy. I'm so glad you asked about that. I'm very proud of those. I'm very proud of
great.
those.
Well, you should be. And actually, I just downloaded the client constitution, and so I'm going to teaching as just a person looking for an attorney. Here's some of the things that I love about this. You like you said, you want to download this, you want to read over it, and then before you actually start interviewing lawyers. Now, a lot of the people that I know personally, myself included, say personal injury. I was involved in an automobile accident back in 2009, and I was referred to an attorney by a friend that had used this guy before. Now, that being said, I'm not going to mention any names.
No.
I did not. Right. I did not go and interview other attorneys. I really did because, fortunately, I've never really had to deal with this type of situation before. So I just went with his recommendation, met the guy. He got started on my case. Long story short, right before, I guess it was the day that he called me to say that we've received a settlement offer from the other party's insurance. You know, something inside me, Ellen, made this comment, and it just took him totally off guard. And that was, okay, I'll be in to see you on Friday, but I want to see all original documents. Okay? Everything that you've done with the other insurance company, I want to see those documents. He was so shocked and taken aback. Then he called me like an hour later, and he made this comment. Oh, wow, I just got another call from the other side, and they're offering you a little bit more money than they originally did. So,
see, Lynda, that just makes my blood boil. But you would not believe how many times that happens. First of all, see, and that's one thing in the client constitution. You always request you be copied on anything that's filed with the court or any kind of communication that deals with your case at all. You should be receiving copies, whether it's paper copies or electronic copies. You should be getting that. And for you to have to request that is insane. They should see. One time ago, they used to do that, but a lot of the stuff, again, is falling through the cracks. Lawyers have gotten sloppy. Now, having said that, let me just say a little disclaimer here. Like I said, I've worked for probably over 200 attorneys. I have worked for excellent attorneys. There are excellent attorneys out there. It's just that there's a whole lot more now. There are a whole lot more bad attorneys where they're unethical or they're incompetent. And unfortunately, it's up to us now. It's up to the client to bring them back into line. So I'm glad you asked that. But how, oh, my God, didn't you just go, oh, what is he saying when he called back up and said, I got another offer?
Again, what I did was I just reiterated to him that I want to make sure that I see all original documents. Then, to add insult to injury, he didn't even pay. And the reason why I actually went to him is because it was the other guy's fault. I was only part-time at the time, and I did not have medical insurance. And I specifically told him I want to make sure that the medical bills are paid. Well, guess what? They weren't. I contacted the Missouri Bar Association to report him, and nothing was done.
Unfortunately, now, and like I said, I'm in Denver, in Colorado, and I have my own personal injury. I had a bad attorney. I usually don't work for personal injury attorneys because they're a whole different breed. I usually work for transactional, which means they don't go to court. They do paper. They do more paper. But my attorney, it was a whole long, drawn-out thing, but they actually dismissed my case before ever talking to me. And I told this was with the Denver City Attorney's Office, and the attorney who was working on my case dismissed it without ever talking to me. And I was livid, and my own attorney didn't even tell me this was going on. So, of course, I fired him immediately. And then I started talking to other attorneys, and they said, well, once your case is dismissed, it'll never be opened again. Well, guess what, Lynda? I got it open.
There you
because
go.
of what I know about the legal system, I was able to reopen it. So that should tell you something, that I do know what I'm talking about when it comes to attorneys. You have to know some of the buttons to push. You have to know the rules. You have to know how far you can push without going too far, because you want to be a good client, but you want to be a responsible client. You want to know exactly what you should ask, and like I said, request from these attorneys it just makes me mad. He didn't
absolutely.
Did he give you no documents whatsoever?
Oh, yeah, he had documentation, and then we actually argued back and forth about the medical, and I'm like, this is the reason why I hired you in the first place, and then all of a sudden he had amnesia. Well, I don't remember you saying that. Are you freaking serious?
But wait a minute. Did he give you any documents before you asked for them?
Well, again, we were scheduled to meet that Friday. I honestly believe, Ellen, what he wanted me to do was just to be so grateful that he had got some money for me, that all he was going to do was just have me sign papers, grab the check, and head out the door. When I requested a sit down to see everything, he was so shocked. It's almost like Gillen, and that's why, and I mentioned this on my show earlier. I think I had a author on a couple of weeks ago, and she was talking about natural health and different things to do. And I told her, I said, this is why I look for natural health alternatives as opposed to depending on doctors, because they have these God complexes, and so do attorneys, where how dare you question my authority. And it's like, buddy, I'm going to question you, so, get ready. And I wish more and more people would do that. But honestly, like I said, a lot of people are so intimidated by attorneys that, they kind of let them go, well, okay, well, whatever you think is best. Well, sometimes that might not be in your best interest. So this is, again, a reason why I was so excited about having you come on the show. Now, let me ask you this real quick, because believe it or not, guys, I love this interview because now we're down to our last 3 minutes. But let me ask you this, Ellen.
Oh, no.
For the authors, for the authors and the indie authors and the independent publishers that listen to the show, do you recommend, and this is for me as well, that we set up our businesses as LLCs as opposed to just self-publishing as, like I'm self-employed as a self-publisher, but I'm not taking advantage of that LLC or a corporation? What's your recommendation on that?
Well, my recommendation is, yes, you should set it up as an LLC. Because it's something, I started, but I recommend it, but I'm not an LLC. I'm not. Until there's good and bad in both, because you have a lot more paperwork when you're an LLC, but you're more protected when you're an LLC. And it's easy for a person to set it up themselves. You don't need to go have an attorney. You don't need to hire an attorney to do that. You can actually go to the Secretary of State's website. In fact, if they want to go to my website, I've got a link for all the Secretary of State's website, and they can go and check that out and click on that link and find out how to do it. I do recommend it because it does protect you, because it keeps your business separate from your personal assets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, Ellen, you've even written a book on government auctions. I love government auctions. This woman is just a wealth of information. Oh, my goodness.
Well, that was my first book that Kiplinger and Reader's Digest picked up. And so I do good work. My books are all very comprehensive, easy to understand. I write for the layperson, Lynda. I make it easy to understand. In my Be a Smart Client book, there's no legal jargon. There is a dictionary in the back. There's a really, short dictionary of legal terms, so it helps the people understand what the attorney is saying, because sometimes that's hard to do.
Exactly. And also your book contains a list of free resources. Can you very quickly give us a couple examples of the free resources you have in the book?
Well, yes, and this is another link on the website. This is a link on the website. It talks about it in the book, but the Bar Association, what you should do, and it's in the Client Constitution. First of all, find out what the attorney registration number is. Find out every attorney has to have an attorney registration number. Then you go on the State Bar Association, plug in that number, and you can find out their background. You can find out what their area of expertise is. You can find out when they make sure they're actually registered in the states that they're practicing. And you can find out if they've ever had any grievances lodged against them. And if anybody ever has had a grievance lodged against them, you don't want to hire them.
Right.
So the State Bar Association is a great resource to when you're in the very beginning looking for an attorney. Like I said, Secretary of State, you can find so much information that can help your case. Oh, Lynda, we really should have had an hour because there's so much more I could tell you. But it's in the book. A lot of it's on the website. Check it all out. And I love that you talked about the workbooks. Yeah, those are kind of, I've never done that before, and that it makes it so much easier for people. It really does. So,
can I ask you a question? As a Create Space publisher as well, when you did the workbook, did they do it for you? Is it spiral bound?
Well, no, I did the work. It's not spiral bounded.
Okay.
I did that through CreateSpace. The PDF, the fillable PDF, I actually went through a person on Fiverr, and he was great. Now, boy, I wish I could remember his name right now. If people are interested, they can contact me through the website, and I'll let them know. He did a wonderful job, and I'd highly recommend him. Like Fiverr is a great place. I know you recommended it for me for a book trailer. So, yeah, there's some excellent people on there.
Yes, there are. And this would be a great book trailer. And also, Ellen, are your books available in audio format?
No, they aren't. Available. The main book is available in English and Spanish. The workbooks are available in English and then PDF, regular PDF, and then fillable PDF. But that's a thought. Maybe I'll do the main book in an audio.
Absolutely.
People, let me know. Go to my website. Let me know if you want that.
Absolutely. And don't forget, Ellen, I sent you a copy of our best-selling guide of how to convert your book into an audio book, right, using Amazon. So very simple to do. All you have to do is just find a narrator, or you can narrate it yourself.
Well, maybe I'll get like James Earl Jones. Wouldn't that be good?
Wow. Well, Ellen, believe it or not, our time is up for today. You're right. We need an hour. Maybe we can get you back on the show sometime again this summer, especially if you do something geared towards authors and publishers, because again, for a lot of us, this is new territory. So we really want to learn how to protect ourselves, from dealing with clients, because I actually do have book clients that I deal with. I help them write and publish their book. And just ways to protect ourselves. Like, here's a good question, like for this show. This is considered intellectual property. How do I protect myself and keep this as my property and nobody else's?
Yes, that's a whole other conversation.
Absolutely.
I actually have worked for patent attorneys. I've worked for patent attorneys.
Oh, great. Well, you know what?
I've worked for them.
I'm sorry?
I said, you name them, I've worked for that kind of attorney. I've worked for all different fields. So, and I'm sorry, what were you starting to say?
I was going to say, why don't we plan on having you come back this summer, give you enough time to prepare, and maybe have you come on and talk about ways authors and publishers can protect themselves with the things that we do. Because, we just like we were saying, we do audiobooks, we do book trailers. These are intellectual property. How do we protect ourselves with this?
I would love to. I would love to come back
Wonderful.
on your show, Lynda. Yeah.
Totally on us, too. Absolutely, Ellen. Well, again, this is our show for today. Thank you so much for coming on. I think just in this short 30 minutes, we've learned so much. We'll be posting a lot of your stuff on our Author Chat Facebook page, and I'm going to try to get the trailer out to you by your YouTube video out by this afternoon. Okay?
Okay. Well, thanks, Lynda. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure talking with you. Thank you.
And thank you so much, sweetheart. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Try not to get too cold. I wish we could send you some of this sunny weather here in St. Louis.
The sun is coming out. The sun is coming out.
All right.
Yay.
Oh, awesome. Okay, Ellen, thank you so much, sweetheart, and have a great day.
Okay, you too. You too.
Bye-bye. Okay, that was author Ellen L. Hughes. And again, the title of her book, Be a Smart Client, A Guide to a Successful Relationship with Your Attorney. And again, she's got some wonderful books on Amazon. And we're going to put all of her books on her YouTube Author Chat Book Trail YouTube video from this interview. So that way you guys can connect with her. And also we'll be putting her website on the Author Chat Facebook page. Well, that's our show for today. We'll be right back here tomorrow. And we'll be talking to another Ellen. I have author Ellen Jameson coming on tomorrow morning. So thank you so much for tuning in today. Get out there, enjoy your Tuesday, make the very best of it. Condolences and prayers out to the family of one of my favorite actresses, the wonderful Doris Roberts. I see she just unfortunately passed away on Sunday at the age of 90. Those of you might remember her in her signature role as Marie Barone on Everybody Loves Raymond. So condolences to her that she's no longer with us. She passed away on Sunday. All right, so that's our show for today. We'll catch you right back here on the Author Chat Show tomorrow. Bye-bye.